this will help you. Can you just name yourself doctor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone could check.
A lot of responsibilities though. Okay, so cutting can be out if it's not distracting. That's the rule, okay? Yep. Okay. So today we're going to talk about 2 math codes. Some of you are familiar, some of you this might be new, I don't know, but we're just going to do it together. So new for you? Okay. So the 2 math codes are the fraction code and the decimal code.
Oh, I know that.
You know those? Familiar? You've heard these words before?
Yes.
Okay. I put a pronunciation up here in case. So decimal, people usually say decimal, but it's actually a 3-syllable word. If you ever wanted to spell it, don't forget that little I in the middle. Decimal. So they have different names, and they definitely look different, right? Fraction has the bar. Everyone do this. Fraction has the bar. And decimal is the... More fun when it sounds, right? Don't do it in class, though. Your teacher will be like, what's happening over there? Okay. So, the thing is, they're actually telling the same story. One is just in disguise. The fraction story, the decimal story are telling the same story, and we're going to prove that today, okay?
But there's no story.
There is a story. There's always a story in that. Okay, so fractions can be cut in a lot of different ways. I'm going to have you tell me some of the ways that you've heard fractions before. Give me a fraction, Ava.
Like 10 over 9.
10 over 9. So that would be ninths, right? Reese, you got one? Pass? Cassini? Pass? Malia? Any fraction. 3/5. So fifths is the kind of fraction, right? Anyone else have one they want to add?
5/7.
5/7. Sevenths is a fraction.
10/8. 9/12.
How about Noreen? Got one? Any fraction? 1/2. A good basic and very useful fraction.
9/10.
All right.
4/12.
So, okay, 9/10, 4/12. So we could probably be here for 10 minutes and we'd think of 6/4. Okay. So look at all these different ways that these fractions, if I like to think of fractions as cake, girls, that's distracting now. Okay, if it's taking your attention away, it's distracting. So, first warning. Okay. So, look, this cake, I think of fractions as the way a cake is cut, just because it's a nice picture. This one's cut into 9 pieces. How many is this cut into?
5.
How about this one?
7. 12. 10. 2. 8. 4.
Okay, so fractions, we can cut our fractions in all sorts of different ways. Not true for decimals. So fractions, I came up with this morning. You'll have to tell me at the end where you thought it was useful or not. Fractions, F for fractions, F for flexible, because fractions can be cut in any way. You could cut your cake into 227 pieces if you want, and you could serve 1/227th of the cake. Decimals are decided. D for decimal, D for decided. There's rules about how the decimals work, okay? So we're going to find that out. Look at your paper that says it has decimal place value. It looks like this. And I want you to touch the first, we'll call these cakes, that says tenths. How many pieces is that cake cut into?
10.
10. Kind of obvious, right? A big clue on top. Guess what? How is the next one cut? Into 100 pieces. Guess how many now? You might not be able to verify this. You might have to trust because it would take us a while to count all the pieces on the next one. How many is that going to be? 1,000. Guess what the last one is coming to? So do you notice a pattern? I thought I had it written up. So if we go from 10 to 100 to 1,000, what's happening? What's happening? Do you see a pattern that's happening? From 10 to 100 to 1,000, and if I did one more, it would be, what do you think, Noreen?
1,000.
What's that?
1,000. You're just adding more zeros.
We're adding more zeros.
So it's 3,000, 4,000.
So what would be the next one, Summer? What do you think? If you were predicting what the next one would be, how many zeros?
Maybe
4 zeros. Let's try it. And that is how our number system works. Have you ever heard the word base 10? Our number system that we use is base 10, and this is what it means. It's based on multiples of 10. We could keep going. We could make our pyramid. You see how the zeros are kind of forming? We could go until there was 10 zeros, 20 zeros, 30 zeros. It just keeps going.
40 zeros.
40 zeros.
100
But we don't need to know quite that far out, thank goodness. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to check out how the fractions and the decimals are actually related and telling the same story. So I'm going to have you color one. Actually, you know what I want you to do first? I want you to outline your cake. I want you to make a line all the way around the outside. That would be the perimeter, if you remember those words from your area, perimeter unit. So all the way around. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be fancy. We're just going to trace around our cake. Reese, is yours done? Yep. Thanks. Okay. So it should just look simple like this. That's to tell us that this cake has pieces, but it is one whole cake. All right? Now I want you to take your pencil and I want you to draw a line on each of the slices. So cut your cake now with your color. And you're going to end up having 10 really skinny slices. Or maybe it's not cake, maybe it's a Kit Kat bar.
Kit Kat.
A really big Kit Kat bar.
Maybe an energy bar.
Oh, what?
Maybe an energy bar.
An energy bar?
Hershey. Waffle.
Is that what you said?
Hershey bar.
Yep, could be.
Waffle.
I just was thinking Kit Kat has the little breaking place, you know?
But the king size?
It could be whatever kind of bar you want,
But-
whatever kind of cake you want.
The
It's
Kit
your
Kat-
personalized.
No, but the king Kit Kat only has 20 and this one has 10.
You're gonna be a little flexible. Oh wait, fractions are flexible, decimals are not. Okay, sorry, don't be flexible. 10 pieces. All right, you're gonna color just one slice. How many? One. I'm gonna color in the first slice here.
Can you give me the basket? Your basket after.
Wait, I thought you guys had already picked these out. What's all this? We're gonna just pick one color and stick with it. We're not trading colors each slice. One color and stick with it. All right. All right, here we go. So does yours look like this or something like this? I mean, different colors, of course. All right, so what would be the fraction story? What did we just do? We colored one out of, what is it, Ava? So what would that fraction look like? 1/10. You agree? That's the fraction story. Underneath fraction, this very first line, I want you to write the fraction story for what you just did. 1/10.
Where?
Right here. I'm going to write mine and show you. You see how it says fraction right here?
Yeah.
You're going to write 1/10. Did we color a whole cake?
No.
No. We just did one slice.
10.
1 out of 10. Good job, Summer. Yes, indeed it was. Okay. For the decimal story, we always tell the decimal story. It's whole cakes and pieces. Did we color a whole cake?
No. We colored one piece of it.
This, after you write your 0, this is the whole cake story. We have 0 whole cakes. Do you agree? Okay. Guess what this is?
Decimal?
Decimal. The decimal says we are done talking about whole cakes. Now we're going to talk about pieces. How many pieces did we color? Did we color 10?
Or we colored one.
We colored 1. So guess what we're going to write for how many pieces we colored?
One.
So that is decimal.
Shouldn't we write 1/10?
Well, I'm showing you that your decimal story is 1/10, but we write it different. This is a decimal fraction. It's telling the same story, but we're using our base 10. Remember, some of those 10, 100, yeah. You're going to see a pattern as we go. If it still doesn't make sense at the end, let me know, okay? Let's see how it goes. Okay, so we just told the story. What does the 0 stand for?
0 whole cakes.
0 whole cakes. What does this tell us?
That it's all done.
We're done talking about whole cakes. And what does this tell us?
That's 1 piece color.
1 piece colored. Yep, that we 1 piece. All right. I want you to color 4 more pieces. What will your total be then?
4 more?
4 more. You have 1 now. 4 more.
It would
Yes.
be 0 fifths.
Oh, I just want to know how many pieces of your cake will be colored.
Oh. 4.
I love how you're thinking ahead though.
0 fifths. 5.
You can use the same color. Okay. Can you change?
There should be 5.
There will be 5.
Coloring 4 more.
4 more. 1 and 4 more. For a total of 5. All right. So what is that fraction story going to be? Shiloh, what will your fraction story be? What will your fraction story be?
1/10 equals 0.110.
Yes, that was your fraction story. What about if we colored 5 pieces? We have 5 pieces colored now. What's our fraction story? How many did we color?
1/10 plus 4/10 equals 5/10.
Yep, so what's our fraction? How many pieces are colored?
We have 5/10 pieces colored.
So 5 out of 10 are colored. Truth? You guys agree?
Yes.
All right, so your fraction story is 5/10. Reese.
Wait, but where did we write it?
Oh, so you're going to write it in the fraction column where it says fraction. This is always going to be the fraction spot to record.
My pencil is dull.
You want to come get another?
Yeah.
Okay. Next time, you guys should probably choose something that's working. Okay. You see, they're on the floor over here.
Is it that?
Okay. Let's tell our decimal story. Have we frosted a whole cake yet?
Yeah.
Nope. What do we write if we have not frosted a whole cake, Malia? How many whole cakes have we frosted?
5.
Have we frosted 5 whole cakes?
No.
Oh, let her think. Let her think. Have we frosted any whole cakes yet? No. We've frosted some pieces, right? How many pieces? 5. So how many whole cakes? 0 whole cakes. Are we done talking about whole cakes?
Yes.
Yep. What should we do?
Decimal.
I think I changed my noise. I think before it was, I don't know. Okay. So, Malia, how many pieces did we frost? 5. Here is our decimal story. We're going to write it next to our fraction story that said 5/10. Are we still talking about 5 pieces? But now we put it in our place value code, the secret code. You have yours all written down, Reese? Yeah. Now, some people like to leave off the 0. They just say, oh, it's 0.5. But the real whole story, we're going to always use the 0 because this tells us how many whole cakes. It's the standard code, so we're always going to use it, even though it seems like extra right. All right, I want you to color.
Can't you just do dot and a 5?
You can just do dot and a 5. That's what I was saying. So you can, but the standard story that I'm always going to ask of you is to tell me how many whole cakes, because that's the real story, not just the pieces. We also want to know about whole cakes. All right. Okay. Don't tell her I said differently, but in here, you have to write the 0. Okay? 4 more pieces. We're at 5. 4 more. How many will that take us to?
10. Wait, no. 9.
Wait,
All right. We're coloring 4 more.
Now it's 9.
Why don't you record the fraction on your own, and then we'll check in on that. I'm going to have you do that on your own. I just want to make sure.
What is the word form?
We're going to talk about that. Today I wanted to focus on the fraction and the... All right, Ava, you ready to help me with the decimal? I almost wrote on my whiteboard with a pen, a regular pen. 0. 0 whole cakes. Point decimal, yes. 9. Is there anyone that has a different idea? Do you agree? 0.9. So what does this tell us? That 9 what are colored? 9 whole cakes or 9 pieces? 9 pieces. Nice. Okay. So guess what we call this place? Just like we have a ones place, a tens place, a hundreds place. Guess what we call this place? I wrote it up here for you. You have to make sure you have front teeth to do it though.
10.
You should hear the at the end, which is why you need the front teeth. Tenths. And it will keep going. When we go this way, look up on the board for 1 second. We're going smaller, smaller, smaller. The numbers are getting smaller, smaller, smaller. What happens when we go this way? Bigger. All the way up to millions and billions, right? So this is a whole new world that we're in. Where as we go along, things are getting tinier and tinier. You saw that on here, right? Did you see how the pieces got smaller and smaller? That's what happens in decimal. The farther you go, the smaller it gets. Okay, for the Big Bang, last piece. Fill it in. So satisfying. Who is it that says that? Is that Summer? No.
No, it's
That's
slime.
Paige.
That's Paige. That's true, it is Paige. Oh, I heard something over there, Hussein. You can help me?
10 tenths.
1.0.
I thought I was going to have to help you with this whole transition. I just hear you popping everywhere. Got it. What is our new decimal?
1.0.
What? Are you guys geniuses? How many whole cakes?
1.
1. And how many pieces?
0.
Well, that wasn't hard at all. You're just like 1.0. All right, cool. So do you agree, Ava, that our story with the whole cake would be this, 1.0? Reese, question or comment?
For the fraction, can it be just 1?
Okay, so let's answer that question. That is a great question. What is our fraction? I skipped ahead. I got so excited about everyone knowing the decimal. 10 tenths. And what do we know? If the top and the bottom number are the same, what do we
It's
know?
1 whole.
That's 1 whole.
Yes. Are these the same name for
Yes.
same thing? So absolutely, Reese. Correct form would be either. Standard form is probably using the 1. Okay? All right. We're going to save the sheet because we're going to talk about word form.
You forgot to fill it in?
What? Are you not paying attention, Mrs. Milleray? All right, how's that, Summer? Am I on task now? Okay.
What about the bottom?
I know. All right, I'm going to give you 5 minutes.
It's time to go.
I'm going to give you 5 minutes.
To do whatever
Your
you
teacher
want.
said you could stay a little extra because we were late coming. We were slightly late coming, okay? There is a game that I've assigned you
Education.com?
in kidseducation.com. Listen carefully. I assigned it to you. It's called Einstein's Brain. You'll see it in your assignments, the bubble that has assignments. You'll see it there. It's not a real brain. Shiloh, you do have one. You do have an account. So first step is you go to this website, because I'm not sure if you've been here. But I have a code for you, okay? In case you forgot. You'll see Einstein's brain in your assignment. It's not a real brain. It's not creepy. It's not gross. I promise you. I promise you.
I think I want
I
to go back.
tried it myself. It's fun.
I think I want to go back.
Just take a look at it. You tell me if it's just way too creepy. It's just a green picture of a head. That's it. Do you know who Einstein was?
Yes.
I know who's Einstein.
Einstein. I know a little bit about him. He's really very. Oh, sorry.
What field of study did he do?
Science. I know he did a little bit
Or should we did an egg hunt? That would be
Just log on and look at this. Okay.
I don't see it. I know.
And your assignments? Where's your log? Where's your beginning? Show me. There's the bubbles where you enter the student. Right here. Assignments. Let's see. Let me see if it shows up. Yeah.
So
Ava, here's your phone.
They took me roller skating, and when I was in
I have
roller
two.
skating place,
Oh, they do too. Does anyone else have Einstein's brain? You all have Einstein's brain, big brains. You know that he actually has bigger brain than the average human?
Yes. So I don't have it. In his spare time, he would play the violin.
Do you have your code?
I see the photo of him. He was holding the violin.
oh wait, what is the, is it like, is it like,
It's look up there.
oh I have to do kids dot application.
Yes,
Dot
kids.education.